everyone, welcome to week 3. I have kind of a new setup here. I have webcam up here. Things are going weird. This is actually the second time I've started recording this lecture. Alright, I've lost some time, which is annoying. Alright, so I'm going to try to go a little bit faster than I normally would, because I do have a lot to kind of go over. Alright, I might be a little bit less engaging. Sorry, because again, there were some technical difficulties and which were super annoying. So I'm kind of this week just kind of getting straight into it because there's a lot to go over in a short amount of time. Okay, I apologize. Okay, so this week, week 3, you'll be seeing this lecture available in 5 days from now on 8/29. I'm recording it on 8/24 right now. This week we're going over topics for your essay 1, or delivery. Alright, so we're going to go over parts of an essay. I'm actually moving this one down here. Parts of an essay. It's going to be first. Then we're going to go over thesis statements. And then we're going to go over outlines. I'm going to show you that. And then we're going to go over topics. Actually, you might go over topics before the outline. Okay, cool. This week you are reading Chapter 3 of your textbook, Arrangement. You're deciding what type of essay you'll be writing, narration, definition, or exemplification, or all of them, okay? And then write an outline for essay 1, okay? Now, I know some of you are having difficulties with your, your textbook in that for I don't know if it still is the case if the bookstore is still out of textbooks, which means that you can't you're having a hard time getting it to be able to read it online. I did post in the announcements about how to get your ebook for 14 days free. Okay, so try that. Also, for this week only, I'm going to print. I'm gonna post a PDF copy of Chapter 3, the required reading for this week. All right, I'm not posting every week the textbook, okay? Because that would be unfair for those people who did purchase it and had to purchase it and received it and are using it. Okay, so this week only, I am posting the textbook for Chapter 3, this week's required reading. Okay, because you yeah, so by September you should try to have access, so that way you can read Chapter 4. Okay, so you need to still work on getting access to this book. Okay, but for this week I will post Chapter 3 for you to read, and it will be in lessons, and it will be in the week 3 folder. Okay, it's not here yet because I literally have it printed off right here, and I'm going to scan it in. Okay, and then I will post it. You'll see it. All right. Okay. And then also here will be the PDF copy of the PowerPoint that I go over today. Okay, everything I go over today will be here. Okay, so let's get to it, because this is like a it's a long PowerPoint. All right, it's I don't think it's 22. I think it's this PowerPoint that I'm going to go over today is like 30 something slides, 32 slides. Okay, so let's get to it. Nope, not you. No. Exit drawing. Slideshow. From beginning. There we go. Alright. So, oh, I don't want sound. Okay, great. Nope, I don't want sound.
Organizing an academic essay.
I'll just turn my sound off, so that way y'all don't need to listen to it. Okay. So we're talking about organizing academic essays and thesis statements. Okay. because you are getting ready to write an essay for this class. It's going to be your first essay, essay 1, okay? All right. So obviously an essay, all right? An essay is a piece of writing that usually has 5 or more paragraphs. Obviously, all right. We're focusing on the 3 parts of an essay: introduction, body paragraphs, and the conclusion.
What is an essay? An essay is a piece of writing that usually has 5 or more paragraphs. The main point an essay is...
Hold on one second. Okay.
What is paragraph? What is an essay written about one topic?
So we have your flow like introduction, and then for this essay you're going to have about 3 body paragraphs, and then a conclusion. So first we have an introduction, which is where you set the stage of your paper, what it's about. Okay. You begin with some refer to as an attention getter, a few sentences about your subject that catch the attention of your reader. I like to talk about it as if it's a warm embrace. Okay, you start your arms out wide, and then you bring in the reader, get them close, and then you deliver your thesis statement, which is the heart of the essay. Okay, one sentence that tells your reader the main points of your topic and states the overall plan of your essay. I'm going to talk more specifically about all this stuff when we get closer to actually drafting your first essay. I'll talk a little bit more about the introductions. This is just a general idea of these types of essays. Okay. So like this is a example. It's kind of a short example. I would want yours to be longer. Metropolitan city is full of charm and scenic beauty. So visitors from around the world can come to enjoy its famous theaters, museums, countless ethnic restaurants, and scenic wonders. Although metropolitan city seems like a paradise, it isn't. Here's the thesis, which is what the essay is actually about. The city has several serious problems: poor public transportation, congested streets, and expensive housing. Those 3 things are what the body paragraphs would be about. One body paragraph would be about poor public transportation. One body paragraph would be about congested streets, and the 3rd body paragraph would be about expensive housing. Okay, the thesis statement tells the reader, me, what your essay will actually be discussing. Okay, specifically, and I'm going to talk more about thesis statements in this PowerPoint. Okay, the next thing that would come would be the body paragraphs. All right, which in this case will be at least 3 paragraphs. And each paragraph supports the main idea of your essay by breaking it down into smaller ideas or subtopics. Okay, and I'm going to talk about the structure of body paragraphs, I think next week when we get into writing your rough draft. Okay, so body paragraphs are arranged differently than introductions and conclusions. So just get ready for that conversation for next week. And then we have the conclusion, which is the last paragraph of the essay. And it completes the essay by summarizing or repeating the most important ideas. The conclusion can also include an opinion, a prediction, or a solution to a problem. So your essay flows introduction, body paragraphs, and then conclusion. All right, so here's a conclusion, even though your conclusion should be about the same length as your introduction. Okay, we shouldn't have shorter ones. In conclusion, metropolitan city must improve its public transit system, clear up the massive traffic jams caused by slow-moving traffic in the downtown areas, and keep rentals down to affordable levels. Your conclusion should begin restating your thesis. It's like the introduction ends with the thesis, and your conclusion begins with the thesis. Okay, just rewritten, not word for word. And then have an ending point. In other words, metropolitan city must improve its image, or it will soon become just another mediocre city due to the lack of administrative responsibility to solve these unfortunate problems. Just like the prediction or the outcome. Okay? So again, we have introduction, starts off general,
Is the introduction.
and like this is general, it's broad, okay? And then you move to the thesis statement. The thesis statement is right here, okay? It's very narrow, it's a very specific point, okay? So this part of the triangle is where the thesis statement would be. Then you have your body paragraphs, which all relate back to the thesis statement. And then you begin right here with restating the thesis statement and then moving out in a broader way. Okay? So it's like a sandwich. And if you have a sandwich, this is the bread. Bread right here would be a layer of mayo, which is your thesis. Then you have your meat. And then you have another, on the second slice of bread, you have a nice little layer of mustard. Oh yeah. Okay? Which is restating your thesis. Alright, and so now let's talk about the thesis statement. We can call it the roadmap for your essay. Okay? So after you come up with an idea, a topic that you want to discuss, you got to think about 3 things you want to say about that topic for this essay. Some essays you will have more than 3 topics. And then once you have your three topics, you can write your thesis statement, which is a complete sentence that contains one main idea. This idea controls the content of the entire essay. A thesis statement that contains subpoints also helps a reader look how the essay will be organized. Okay? So here is an introduction. When I was young, I always knew that I wanted to become a teacher someday. When I played, I would often gather my dolls together and pretend to teach them how to do math problems or how to read a book. As I grew older, my desire to become an ESL teacher became clear as I did some volunteer teaching overseas in the United States. Now here is the thesis statement with the subpoints. As I look back on my reasons for becoming a teacher, there are 3 reasons that stand out. Here they are. They are my love for the English language, my innate interest in how people learn, and my desire to help other people. This thesis statement tells us that these 3 things are going to be discussed in their own paragraphs. My love for the English language is in one paragraph. My innate interest in how people learn is another paragraph. And my desire to help other people. That's the 3rd body paragraph. Okay, here we have, psychologists have argued for decades about how a person's character is formed. Numerous psychologists believe that one's birth order, as in place in the family as the youngest, oldest, or middle child, has the greatest influence. Okay, it's a general, broad introduction to the idea, and then we have the thesis. I believe birth order can have a significant impact in the information of a child's character, based on my own experience growing up in a family of 4 children. Already this essay sounds like it's going to probably be a narrative for the most part. Birth order can strongly affect one's relationship with parents, relationships with others, and how one views responsibility as an adult. So we have our main. Now, so these examples have the thesis statement broken up from the subpoints. You don't always have to do that. Sometimes you might have them both in the same sentence. Either one's fine, as long as that sentence is not a run-on sentence. Okay. So, thesis statement states the main idea of the essay in a complete sentence, not in a question. It's usually at the end of an introduction. Okay? It states an opinion or attitude on a topic. It doesn't just state the topic itself. It often lists subtopics and does not directly announce your main topic. Okay? So it's usually a complete sentence. All right? It's asserting opinion or idea. Okay? And it should never be a question. Don't pose questions in your thesis statements. Okay? So like the sport of cross-country running. This is not a complete sentence. It's a topic. Instead, the sport of cross-country running has allowed me to get in better shape and meet some interesting people. Awesome. Why do I want to be a teacher? This is a question, not a statement. Being a teacher is a great profession because it allows me to work with students and be creative. That's a thesis statement.
Below
Okay.
are more examples of how
Another example. Oops. I guess they want me to flow through, but I really don't want it to use their time. So, oh well. Here we go. Another example. The problem of pollution in big cities. Again, that's not a complete sentence. The problem of pollution in major cities can be elevated by limiting the number of cars allowed to drive on city streets and creating more efficient public transportation systems. Okay? Don't pose a question. Why should marijuana be legalized? Nope, wrong. You just have to state why it should be legalized and the reasons for it. All right. Again, it should be at the end of your introduction. After the thesis, it should lead straight into the body paragraphs. Okay? You gotta have an opinion or an attitude on a topic. Okay? It makes the statement more specific and requires the writer to explain or prove his or her opinion in the essay. So, like on the left side, I learned to play many musical instruments when I was young. Okay. This would not be considered a good thesis statement because it is only expressing a fact. It doesn't give the writer's opinion or attitude on playing musical instruments. You're not writing like, you wouldn't write an essay on, oh, gravity exists. Yeah, good call. Okay. All right. Someone's already proven that. So you should do something that is that has more of a feeling, an attitude, and opinion. So the one on the right side says, learning to play many musical instruments when I was young helped me to become a more intelligent and well-rounded person. Because then that poses someone to say, how so? And then you will provide how so. This thesis statement is much better because it expresses how the writer feels about the experience of learning to play musical instruments. This statement requires the writer to explain how and why playing a musical instrument made him or her a better person. Okay. Subtopics. You can make your thesis statement more specific by including subtopics. By doing this, you give your reader a clear idea of what you will be discussing in your essay. Okay? Subtopics. The large influx of people to California has had major effects on the ability of the state to provide housing, electricity, and jobs. This tells us that one paragraph will be about housing, one paragraph will be about electricity, and one paragraph will be about subtopics. Okay? And it also helps you to know what you're going to be discussing in your body paragraphs. So you got to have subtopics. You need to lay out in your introduction essentially which paragraph is going to be about which topic. Okay? And they go in order. Also, don't state the obvious. Do not write things like, this essay will discuss, or I'm going to write about blank. Do not do that. Don't announce your main topic. It's elementary school writing, not college level. Okay? So, like, that was a good example. In this essay, I'm going to discuss, nope. Just state, long-term drug use can have disastrous effects on one's marriage, career, and health. Okay, just state it. Just state it. Don't. This essay will discuss. No, the essay won't discuss anything. The author will be discussing this. But you don't even say what you'll be discussing. You just say what you are discussing. Not that you will be talking about this. Teachers can fight teenage drug abuse by educating young people on its dangers and being good role models. Good. So again, states the main idea of the essay in a complete sentence, not in a question. It's usually at the end of an introduction. States an opinion or attitude on a topic. It doesn't just state the topic itself. You should have some subtopics and does not directly announce your main idea. Okay? Alright, so I provide this link for essay topics. You will see it in lessons right here. Topics, outlines, and thesis statements. Oops. In week 3, when you open this up, you will see this. This link will be there. Okay. I'm recording this before I posted anything. I mean, I'm recording this on Tuesday. a week before, you'll actually be watching this. Okay. So exit drawing. I don't want you. Move. All right, here we go. 150 English essay topics. Okay. So you could pick any of these questions as your topic to write about. Okay. What is this? Oh, cell atlas. Why? What are the implications of the cell atlas? I have no idea. Okay. You're gonna pick a topic. One of these topics. There's like 500 topics. Okay. Maybe not. I think there's like only like 150 topics actually. Tattoos, crimes in prison. Pick any of these. Okay. You're not doing research for this topic, so you gotta pick something though that like you have an opinion on, that you already have. How can we make football safer? I love football. Man, I love football. Okay. So you got to pick a topic that you don't got to do any research on. You already have an opinion. Okay. You already have an opinion. And then you are going to use this outline template. Oops. I want to show the actual template. Oh, I think I have it right here. Nope, that's not it. You're going to use this outline template to come up with your ideas about what you're going to write about. So you got to pick a topic that you know, that you're familiar with, that you don't have to do any research. I don't want you to use any sources because I haven't taught you about citing sources. And so if you incorrectly cite some sources, then I am not going to overlook that. You will get points off for incorrectly citing sources. Okay, so you have to make sure that you don't use any outside sources. All right, fill this in. Put in your last name. You got to double click to do so. Do your first and last name, my name, class title, and due date. Okay, which this is due. Your outline is due 9/4, September 4th. So you'll write September 4th in that form, okay? And then write a thesis statement where essentially you take a topic and you answer it with 3 things. So how can we make football safer? Easy enough just to say. We can make, or the NFL can make football safer by improving helmets, requiring no contact in preseason games, and blank. Something else, okay? If you want to talk about that one. All right, do not post a question. What causes the breakup of marriages? So you would write, marriages these days are breaking up due to unrealistic expectations put on a spouse by the other spouse, partners not sharing in the domestic labor of the home, and the financial burden of when one person doesn't have a job. Okay, something like that. So turn it into a complete sentence on your outline. Don't write a question. Write the complete outline. Write the complete thing. So for example, I'll just fill this out. Imagine my name is Elliot Smith. Okay. Instructor's name is Mr. Byars. I'm getting a lot of weird spellings of my name, I'll tell you that. English 1101. Due date for September 2022. Okay. Introduction, thesis statement. And for your outline, you don't need to get all like creative writing-ish. Okay, just say blank. Marriages are failing today because of unrealistic expectations placed on partners, partners not sharing the domestic responsibilities, and because of, I don't know, I'm making this up, of the financial, I didn't spell that right, financial inequalities amongst partners. All right, I'm making this all up as I go. All right, marriages are failing today because of sub point 1, unrealistic expectations, partners not sharing, number 2, and because of the financial inequalities amongst partners. All right, supporting details. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my first reason, unrealistic expectations placed on partners, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it. Okay, and then I'm going to take this, copy, and I want to paste it. And then I'm going to take the third one here. Again, copy, paste it. Okay. All right, and so then I'm going to, oh my gosh, we messed up my thing. There it is. Okay, so then I'm going to come up with my reasonings. All right, and you can delete these. We just need, we don't need subpoints. I don't know why. Get rid of those subpoints. Or maybe by the time you open this up, I'll have gotten rid of those subpoints and I'll re-upload this. Okay, that's weird. Supporting details. Okay. All right. So what am I going to say in each of my main points? Okay, what am I going to provide? And this is, are you going to do a narrative for this paragraph? Are you going to provide a definition? Okay. Or are you going to exemplify, provide an example? All right. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right. And I would really just kind of do one. Decide which one you're going to do for each of these. You might have 3 narratives. You might have 3 different definitions. You might have 3 different examples. Okay, whatever it is, for your essay, which I haven't really actually even talked to you about, you are going to do something. Either you can write 3 different narratives, 3 different definitions, or you can have a paragraph that uses a narrative, like an anecdote, to discuss your points. You can use a definition and your third paragraph to prove your point. And then you can use an example, which, you know, exemplification is kind of like a unofficial example. It's not a narrative. Okay, it's more like where you describe it. Oh, the bell's rung, so my time is up. But that's okay though. That goes over your essays, which is what the outlines, which I really wanted you to see. Okay. All right. So you have that. You have outlines, you have your topics, which I showed you where to find the topics. Okay. And that's it. If you want to also read ahead, okay, the essays, if you go to lessons, right, essay 1, essay 1 right here. Okay, you are going to be writing either a narrative essay, descriptive essay, exemplification essay, or an essay that covers all of them. An essay that has some narrative, some description, some exemplification. Okay, and your outline should reflect what kind of essay it is and what kind of details you're doing. All right, in conclusion, it can just be blank. Who cares about that? All right. And so you are going to provide some supporting detail in your outline. And your supporting detail should either be a narrative, something you're defining, or some sort of example to prove this point that you're making. Okay? All right, and then you'll submit it by September 4th. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. Email me, and I will talk to y'all later.